They say knowledge is power, but how do we become smarter? The secret isn't just about knowing more, it's about thinking better. Here are 3 books that will expand your mind, sharpen your perspective, and make you smarter. Book 1. Thinking, Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. This book helps you understand how your brain works when you make decisions. It explains that our mind has 2 systems. The first system is fast, automatic, and emotional. It's what we use when we make quick decisions without much thought, like reacting to a loud noise or choosing the tastiest-looking snack. This system is great for everyday decisions, but it often leads to mistakes because it relies on instinct and shortcuts. The second system is slow, careful, and logical. It's the part of our brain we use when we solve a math problem, plan a big decision, or think deeply about something. This system takes more time and effort, but helps us make smarter, more thoughtful choices. Kahneman also explains how these 2 systems interact and why we sometimes make poor decisions. For example, have you ever made an impulsive purchase and regretted it later? That's your fast-thinking system taking over. The book teaches you how to recognize when this is happening and switch to slow thinking when it matters most. The most valuable lesson is learning to identify biases, the mental shortcuts our brain takes that can lead to wrong conclusions. For instance, we often judge things based on first impressions or overestimate the chances of rare events, like winning the lottery. By reading this book, you'll gain the tools to pause, think clearly, and avoid common traps in your thinking. It's not just a book for psychologists or experts, it's for anyone who wants to make better decisions in life, work, or relationships. It's like a user manual for your brain. Book 2. Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari. This book takes you on a journey through the entire history of humanity, from the very beginning to the modern age. It's not just a history book, it's a guide to understanding how humans became the most powerful species on Earth and why the world is the way it is today. Harari starts by explaining how humans, or Homo sapiens, began as just another species of animal living in small groups, hunting and gathering to survive. For hundreds of thousands of years, humans lived this way without making much of an impact on the world. But then something extraordinary happened, the cognitive revolution. This is when humans developed the ability to think in complex ways, communicate with language, and imagine things that didn't exist. One of the most powerful ideas Harari shares is that humans are unique because we can create and believe in shared myths. Things like religion, nations, money, and even corporations don't exist in a physical sense. They are ideas that only exist because we all agree to believe in them. For example, a dollar bill has no real value on its own, but because we all agree it represents wealth, it becomes incredibly powerful. This ability to cooperate and organize through shared beliefs allowed humans to build cities, empires, and entire civilizations. The book also explores the agricultural revolution, which was a turning point in human history. People stopped hunting and gathering and began farming. While this allowed societies to grow and develop, it also introduced problems like inequality, hard labor, and disease. Harari challenges the idea that this revolution was an improvement, suggesting that humans traded their freedom for security and stability. Another fascinating part of the book is its explanation of how modern society was shaped by the scientific revolution and the rise of capitalism. Harari explains how humans began to trust science and data over myths and superstitions. He also shows how capitalism, the belief in economic growth and markets, has become one of the most powerful shared myths in today's world. Sapiens doesn't shy away from difficult questions. It makes you think about the choices humans have made and whether our progress has always been for the better. For instance, the Industrial Revolution brought amazing technological advancements, but also caused massive environmental destruction. Harari encourages us to think about what progress really means and what kind of future we want to create. By the end of the book, you'll have a deeper understanding of not just history, but also how humans think, act, and organize. It helps you see the world through a completely new lens. Why do we trust banks? Why do we believe in borders? Why do some people have more power than others? Harari provides answers to these questions in a way that's easy to understand, even if you've never studied history before. The most remarkable thing about *Sapiens* is how it connects the past with the present and the future. It makes you realize that the things we take for granted, like governments, money, and even happiness, are part of a story we've been writing for thousands of years. Once you read this book, you'll never look at the world the same way again. It's not just for history buffs. If you're curious about how humanity got here, why we think and behave the way we do, and what might come next, this book will give you the answers. It's a thought-provoking and mind-expanding read that everyone can benefit from. Book 3. Range. Why Generalists Triumph in a Specialized World, by David Epstein. This book challenges one of the most common beliefs of our time, that to succeed, you need to specialize early and focus on mastering one specific skill or field. David Epstein flips this idea on its head, arguing that generalists, people who explore a variety of skills and experiences, are often more successful in the long run, especially in complex and unpredictable environments. Epstein begins by showing how society often glorifies specialization. From a young age, people are encouraged to focus narrowly on one talent or career path, whether it's in academics, sports, or a profession. Think of famous specialists like Tiger Woods, who started training for golf as a toddler. Stories like his make us believe that the earlier we specialize, the better. But Epstein argues that this isn't the full picture. He uses real-world examples to show that generalists, those who experiment with different fields before finding their focus, often outperform specialists. One example is Roger Federer, who explored multiple sports before settling on tennis. His broad experience gave him skills and mental flexibility that helped him excel. Another example comes from innovation. Some of the most creative breakthroughs come from people who combine knowledge from different fields, not just from experts working in isolation. One of the key arguments of the book is that the world is becoming more complex and interconnected, and this makes generalists more valuable. Specialists are great at solving specific problems within a narrow field, but generalists are better at connecting the dots between different areas of knowledge. They can approach problems with a fresh perspective, which often leads to more creative and innovative solutions. Epstein also discusses how generalists thrive in environments where learning is wicked rather than kind. A kind environment is predictable, like playing chess or hitting a golf ball. The same rules apply every time, and practice makes perfect. In contrast, a wicked environment is messy and unpredictable, like managing a business, raising children, or solving global problems. In these situations, the ability to adapt, learn new things, and think broadly is much more important than narrow expertise. The book dives into how modern education and career paths often don't encourage this kind of adaptability. Many people feel pressured to stick to one path early on, even if it doesn't suit them. Epstein argues that exploring different options, whether it's changing careers, learning a new skill, or pursuing a hobby, can actually make you more successful and fulfilled in the long term. One fascinating section of the book explores the concept of sampling periods. This refers to the time people spend trying out different things before committing to a specific path. Epstein shows that successful generalists often have longer sampling periods, during which they explore various interests, develop a wide range of skills, and learn how to think in diverse ways. This experimentation not only helps them find what they truly enjoy, but also gives them a broader toolkit to tackle challenges later on. Epstein doesn't dismiss the value of specialists entirely. Instead, he emphasizes that both specialists and generalists are important, but generalists often don't get the recognition they deserve. In fact, he points out that many of today's greatest challenges, like climate change, public health crises, or technological disruptions, require people who can think across disciplines and collaborate with others from different backgrounds. The book also provides practical advice for how to embrace a generalist mindset. Epstein encourages readers to follow their curiosity, explore their interests, and be willing to take risks, even if it means stepping away from a traditional path. He shows that being a jack of all trades doesn't mean you lack focus or discipline. It means you're building a unique set of skills that can set you apart in a world that values innovation and adaptability. By the end of Range, you'll see that success isn't about how early you start or how narrowly you focus. It's about how broadly you think, how many experiences you gather, and how you use them to solve problems in creative and meaningful ways. The book is inspiring, thought-provoking, and full of actionable insights that can help anyone rethink their approach to learning, growth, and success. If you've ever felt pressured to specialize or stick to one path, Range is a must-read. It's a powerful reminder that it's okay to explore, experiment, and take the road less traveled. Sometimes the most valuable skills and insights come from the most unexpected places. These 3 books offer powerful insights, thinking fast and slow to master your decision-making process. Sapiens, to understand the forces that shape human history and society. Range, to unlock the potential of diverse skills and experiences. Which one will you start with? Let me know. Smarter thinking leads to smarter living.